Welcome to Shark Week. Today we watched Land Shark, and you thought the land was safe.
The sea creature even swims on land? This is quite unscientific.
This movie is about a pharmaceutical company who's using shark genes or cells to create cures for cancer. Their experiments go wrong and they create the land shark. Yep. So this movie, I was pleasantly surprised.
I think they nailed the concept of a land shark. We've seen it before, but they definitely were able to utilize the terrain to their advantage.
The shark is on land, and it swims through land often.
It burrows.
It's crossed with an earthworm. I didn't get that feeling from the shark itself. It looked like it was made of rocks, but it actually utilized land.
And water. It did the best of both worlds, I feel, because it did manage to hunt and kill in the water, and it killed on land.
Yeah, I'd be scared in both places.
So the pharmaceutical company, the bad guy, which he turns out to be, his dream was to cure cancer or other diseases by trying to crossbreed sharks and hundreds of other animals, which eventually, when they go through the list, they went through monkey, dog, whatever. They ended up in earthworm as the most successful one.
This is how Asylum came up with their whole Sharktopus versus whale wolves. They probably did the same thing.
But the interesting question I want to raise is that he wanted to keep the land shark alive because he thinks that there was some benefit, possibly as a military weapon.
Yes.
But also because there might be health benefits.
Yeah.
So the land shark killed, at that point, maybe about 10 people. So now, potentially, it could save millions of people. Is it worth killing it or keeping it alive?
Yeah, if you can kill 10 people and save millions, you kill the 10 people.
But we don't know if he will save the million. What if it never transpires? Still worth the risk?
Cancer patients are dying all the time.
We would best be doing something.
Right. We need to figure it out. I think you need to kill people.
To save more.
To save more. Yeah, you're right. YouTube doesn't understand context. They think I'm a fucking serial killer already.
Let's say we decide, okay, it's a great military asset. Is it any different than using horses or like even tanks? So maybe the bad guy wasn't really a bad guy.
Like, is he using it in military for defense or military to invade? Because then he could be seen as a bad guy.
What if he sold it to both sides?
It's just business.
At the end of the day, he's a bad guy. because he's not considering anything other than military right now. He even said, he's like, there's no money in saving lives. There's only money in taking lives. So he's a bad guy. That's what bad guys say.
He is a bad guy because he shot a few people directly. So he was a bad guy.
Yeah,
He's a bad guy. Yeah. But is this whole land shark necessarily a bad idea?
Under any circumstance.
No, I don't think so. I think that it needs to be more contained, that's for sure. You can't just have it running on land and killing people, gobbling kids up, or coming close.
I think that's what makes this a bad idea then. Because
they can't
control it.
They had the laptop. They could control it to some degree.
I assume Land Shark V2 could be controlled. It's kind of like how we turned wolves into dogs, you know?
So you want to make the pug version of this land shark?
Tone it back. Make it goofy and crazy-eyed. Googly eyes on that guy.
I think the point is that this is a very philosophical movie. We don't get this kind of depth from other shark movies that we see. Overall, though, I think the movie, so we watched the dubbed version.
Better experience.
We're all being chased by a big worm that likes to eat people?
I feel if you were reading the subtitles or watching it in the native language, you'd probably think it's supposed to be more serious than intended.
Yeah, the dub definitely added to the humor because of the lost in translation here. But I think overall, all of the characters, they delivered what they were supposed to in the dub. And it just added to the entertainment factor. That's what's important, is I was entertained in this film.
Uncle is so knowledgeable. Uncle is awesome.
Were we entertained because we're coming hot off a Mark Polonia movie?
Yes?
There was nothing boring
True,
happening.
there are action sequences.
This film has a bit of everything. It has characters that you like, characters that you hate. It has a good shark. It has good situations. It gives us the variety. We start off in the underwater laboratory, and like it's tense because we don't know all the characters yet. Who's gonna die? Who's gonna survive? Who's sitting on top of like the filing cabinet? Who's in the water? How are they gonna get out of the situation? Then they get on land, and it presents a whole new opportunity for us. And we now have characters who we established this is the dick, and these are the heroes. It just kind of walks itself through, and it always provides something new and different. It doesn't make it boring.
I think, like, to give credit to the actors, that they're, like, acting just based off the, like, body, like, expressed exactly what their characters were, and dubbing on top of it was, like, so, like, we can't, it's hard for us to judge the overall acting of it, but I think they did a pretty good job.
Yeah, the production value was also really good. Shark movies these days have really gone downhill. But this one had a higher production value. Like, the lab, the weapons, the outfits. We got the guy basically straight out of Jurassic Park. This could have been a Jurassic Park movie.
They should do a Jurassic Shark.
Oh no, don't talk about it.
That's one thing about the characters, is we cared about them. At least I cared about them. Like, I didn't want to see our big boy or Chris Pratt die. If the big guy ended up dying after the boat attack, I would have been upset. I liked him. Overall, he was just trying to be like a good guy.
Yeah, you can see, like, in the initial scenes, like, he quickly dove to help his friend. He, like, was there at the gate trying to open it. He was always, like, ready to go and help. So I agree. I liked him as a character. Even though the dubbing, the very first thing he said, I was thinking maybe we're not supposed to.
The shark is pregnant.
The shark is a male. Could it be possible that the shark is so depressed that it became a sissy as a result?
And then the scientist that was a jerk and kind of selfish. I think that was well done. He was non-discriminating in his way, in his selfishness to save himself. And that was very evident, and it made us really hate him.
Oh, when he, like, pulled Yo-Yo in and then used her as bait, like, that was like...
That was genius, though. I thought the kid was getting gobbled.
And most times in most movies, I'm like, they're not just gonna do it. But because this was a foreign film being dubbed, I had no
never
explanation.
know.
Exactly.
It kind of went all over the place, and it worked to its advantage. Although I didn't like the Deus Ex Machina of just, oh, we've got this whole crew with guns coming out of nowhere. The guy didn't know the shark was already, like, let loose, yet he brought 3 trucks full of guys with guns ready to go.
And I feel like the jump between the shark being in the city and being into, like, the wilderness, like, I don't think they should have either, like, stayed in the city to try and, like, capture it instead of going back into, like, the great outdoors.
Yeah, there was like a bigger opportunity for more enjoyable moments. However, it's just a lot more work.
Yeah, I think, you know, because it's in the city, right? Like police, army, those types of things would have been called out.
Yeah, if it leaves, you still, you know, call the forces. We need to find this thing and kill it. No, we just got a handful of guys with tasers. Should do the trick.
What do you feel about how the actual shark looked? Besides the, like, CGI quality, the design of the
I
shark.
think it looked cool.
I liked how it used its fins later on to, like, really, like, move itself. Like, it was doing the backstroke like a champ.
Oh yeah, it was moving backwards. It like had tough skin. It had this interesting mouth where it was like, it had like these 2 claws at the front. Maybe even to just use its chin to go forward. I don't know what it's for.
The other thing I liked was that they said it got bigger, because we were kind of questioning whether it got bigger or not. A lot of times the size of whatever creature they've created can be very inconsistent.
Yeah, and usually it's just like a CG issue.
Yeah, at least this time they're like, oh, it's continuing to get bigger. Like, that way we know we're not idiots thinking that it's bigger than it is.
And maybe that's only in the dub. The advantages.
Foreign crowd won't get that this thing's growing if we don't say it. What are we going to give this movie?
I'm going to give this 2.5 earthworms out of 5.
Do you mean like this?
I'm going to give this 3.5 Free Willy jumps out of 5.
And I'm going to give this 4 fish bait hammer throws out of 5.
As always, thank you for watching. Like this video and comment below with your thoughts on the film if you've seen it. If you haven't and you do want to check it out, links are in the description. And make sure, if you're not already, subscribe to the channel for more shark videos.
What on earth did you do to the shark? It's confidential. You have no right to know.